On today's video, I'm going to show you really amazing websites and I'm going to break it down so that you can use the same concepts on your own web design. Let's rock and roll. Hey everybody, what is up and welcome to our July roundup of amazing websites I saw this month. Let's start diving into them. So here's the first one, and before we dive into this, I actually want to reload because I want to show you kind of the loading interactions here. So after 30 years, Pro Contact becomes ITI. This basically says ITI. And so basically they just rebranded, right? So ITI, formerly known as Pro Contact. And so they want to introduce their new logo to you, which basically says ITI, and there's a hidden kind of H here. So nice use of negative space. And I really like this website for multiple reasons. So first of all, they're kind of breaking down the logo and using this as a kind of a visual element. So that's nice in a branding perspective. But when you start scrolling down here, I really love that they have this very big, condensed, big type that's bold. And, you know, when you're going down, although I really love it, it's big, it's in your face, they're kind of telling the story, but still there's a feeling like there's not too much going on. It's not so overwhelming. As you can see, the layout is still pretty clean. The hierarchies are really good. So they chose to go with a very big, bold text, but all the rest of the stuff, right? The text here is very kind of minimal and small. The buttons here, the calls to action, while they're visible and very clear as buttons, they're not dragging too much of your attention. So at the end of the day, you know, the hierarchy here is very clear. Obviously, you're looking at the face first, and then you're looking at the text. And I also like that every time that you're actually reloading the website, you're getting a very different persona here. And they kind of went with, so right now we're getting the same guy again and again, but if you reload this, you're getting different people from kind of diverse backgrounds, which I think is nice, right? So every time you see somebody else here. And so again, I think that while there's lots of content going on here, I think with a really great layout and hierarchies, you can still break it down and make this website feels like there's a lot of space around here. So I think this is a really nice way of thinking about this. Now let's see how they broke this down on mobile. So let me turn this here into a mobile. So now you can see, let's reload this. They still have the interaction, the mobile loading interaction, but they've really minimized this so that you don't see remember there was a lot going on here and it's all hidden behind this menu. They decided to check how many things they decided not to show you on the mobile space. So the paragraph that we had on the desktop, it's just not showing here. So it's just the headline and the buttons and no kind of call to action button here at the top. When you're scrolling down, still, again, very minimalistic, and you can still see, you know, still good hierarchies. I think it's really important to see how they kind of minimized and make tough decision to just remove content on mobile so the website will still look good and not too overwhelming. I really like this. So you see they remove this, they remove this. Very nice. So iti.ca, really great website. The next website that I want to show you here is this WakaWorld, and again I want to show you the intro animation because it's really cool. So basically what you see here is kind of like a poster building that you can see the inspiration. Let's see that again. You can really see the inspiration of Swiss poster design in how they've structured it, but then they kind of zoom in and then that's actually the website. Again, super minimalistic. So this is an e-commerce, right? This company built this this furniture, but it's very minimalistic, very grid based, right? So let's dive inside to see the product. Very kind of minimalistic and grid based. I really love, let's go see there. So this is actually the menu here, right? Shop Index Studio. And if you go to the index, so this is the index of their products, and it's really cool. You hover over these things and the images just show. So again, on a one hand, it's very clean and grid based, but when you start hovering on things kind of break out of the grid and create this really cool kind of feeling of things going out of the grid. Very cool layout. Let me see also the shop. So again, everything is grid based, very, very clean and grid based. However, sometimes when you're hovering over things, the overlay kind of breaks the grid. So it's very, very smart to know how to use the system, how to use grid and how to use organization, and then break it down to bring in some creativity and, you know, show that you can break out of the box. But really, they show that they know how to use this, and then they're breaking it down to bring it in some creativity. I really like this WakaWaka website and its Swiss kind of background. All right, so this website, Avec, this is obviously some kind of a juice or kind of a soft drink. What I like about this, and we'll start scrolling this in a second, is you know how a lot of times people, you know, they go crazy with color and it just doesn't work really well. And so the major advice is, hey, reduce the number of colors that you use and be very smart about this. So here with this Avec brand, they're really having a good use of color. They're using a lot of colors, but at the end of the day, the palette is still clean. The hierarchies are still clean. So when you start scrolling down, the background gets kind of an overlay, color overlay, so it becomes green. And then we have the can scrolling with us as we're seeing the story. And here we have all the different palettes. So this just fits inside here. And then you can also see the other ones. So note, while there's so many colors going around, it's still very, very clean, right? There's still, so here, I would say that the major color is, you know the rule, if you don't know the rules of using colors, you can check out here where we have a video about talking with colors. So a lot of times you would pick a color, then you use 60% of the screen with that color. So here I think it's obviously green, but as we, in green here as well, and then you have some white and yellows. But here, they kind of switched it up. So now, it's kind of this beige color, which is the 60%, and they just break it down with touches of little green or the other colors. So I think really, really nice way of, you know, use of color here, and just fantastic art direction. So, and it's nice. I think it looks kind of 3D. So you don't even have to go on crazy photo shoots anymore to create these amazing backgrounds. You can do this with 3D. Also, I think if you check this out on mobile, you'll see it still gets the vibe. However, now when we're scrolling down, the can doesn't stay with us, because obviously if they would try to recreate the same effect where the can stays fixed at the center of the screen, that wouldn't work. So they kind of adjusted the interaction, and then we're very focused. Oh, they forgot to make this smaller, so this is a little bug. But otherwise, the adjustment for mobile looks pretty solid. All right, the next website that we have today, before I scroll down, guess what this website is for? And I love this website because it's not what you think it's for. So we are experienced, right? Then you scroll down and it says accountants. And I'm like, what? This is a website for accountants? I love this because usually you would think accountants are boring people with boring websites. And here you can see that, you know, you can take a brand for accountants and make it look very premium, very cool, very up to date, very, you know, modern. And note here, so we are trusted advisors. Again, very nice kind of layout that is very clear on the hierarchies. So the title is very big. The subtext is much smaller, so we have a good contrast and very clear layout. Now note, a lot of times when I review website, I would immediately say, hey, where's the call to action, right? There's no button here. They don't want me to click anything. So that's kind of a bad practice. But here, I feel like what they want me to do is they want me to scroll. They want me to reveal the story. So obviously, they didn't even put accountants above the fold, so they want me to scroll. They want to kind of tease me into this. So accountants, and then we're trusted advisors, and then we're scrolling down since 92, and then they're showing their services as accountants, and at the end of the day, they're showcasing the partners. And only when you get at the end to the content, you have this kind of say hello, also with kind of a playful movement. So that's the actual call to action. So they want you to get to the bottom, and then the call to action is here. So again, I think this is nice because it's very, very clean. Again, big type. If you can see that the trend here of me liking website with big, bold type, right? Sometimes it's serif font, sometimes it's sans serif font or condensed font, but I love it when there is big type, but the website doesn't feel overwhelmed, right? Because they're using big type with a lot of clean, empty space. So I love this. The last website for this week would be Sweetpunk.com, which is a very cool creative agency. So overall, immediately if you click anything, right? So anything that is not the text is a call to action, which basically means click, and then you're just watching the show reel, which is kind of pretty cool, right? It's not loading, it's already loaded. You click, bam, immediately you're with the sound, you're with the vibe of the agency. And then you're scrolling down, Sweetpunk encourages audacious brands. But what's nice here, look, you've got something already going on in the background, so you feel like it's a video, but then when you move your mouse around, you're kind of playing with this lava thing, and that's obviously some kind of a script, but I've never seen this before because it really looks, I think they're kind of overlaying a video and this kind of a JavaScript adaptation of it. So I think this is really, really cool. I did not see this effect before, and I love it. So now we're getting to the actual content, and beautiful ideas coming to a price. I like that they're kind of describing themselves in a kind of a rotating way because they want to say a lot of things about themselves. So we're this, and we're this, and we're this. What I like about this brand, I mean, otherwise I would say, you know, it's a good agency website, well designed. They're winning a lot of awards. But what I like about this is that they have this philosophy, right? Don't be boring, okay? Which is kind of intriguing to me. What does it mean, don't be boring? And that's the first thing on their, you know, on their navigation bar as well. So I like it because they have an agenda. They have some kind of a philosophy which they're sharing with their customers about how they are different with this slogan of don't be boring. They have some nice interaction here. They're kind of encouraging you to break out this ball. So it kind of tells a story about how we're different. We have an agenda. If you work with us, your brand is not going to be boring. And I, to be honest, I'm sold on this. I mean, even as a customer, I would like to work with somebody who promises me to not be boring. So I think it's a really cool value proposition. And the way that they're selling to me with this kind of interactive, there's always more exciting version of your brand. That's a great kind of storytelling and value proposition for an agency. You know, even though they didn't say anything special about them, right? So we are an advertising agency, we win awards, right? But how are you different? That's where I feel like this don't be boring thing comes into place. And I feel like it's really, really well designed, interactive, playful. I really love this agency of Sweetpunk. All right, everybody. So this was our roundup for this week. I hope you liked it. Make sure you're subscribed and hitting that bell notification so you can see the next videos, roundouts of great inspirational videos and, you know, educational content, everything that you need to become an amazing web designer. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.